I see you're wearing the ascot.
Yes.
Is that in support of Roland Martin? Because I like it. It's nice.
Who the hell is Roland Martin?
You gotta be kidding me.
From Washington, D.C., Roland Martin, good morning.
Oh, my goodness, time journalist Sybil Wilkes, Guy Torrey. Good morning. Hope all is well with you. I'm going to be hanging in New York tonight with our good friend Susan Taylor. They have their National Mentor Gala. National Memory Project, their gala tonight, honoring Reverend William Barber and also the great Cicely Tyson. So looking forward to that. In time, of course, we get our big event tomorrow, the real State of our Union with the State of the Union. So if y'all don't want to watch Trump, you can come watch us. We'll be live streaming at Facebook, YouTube, Periscope. I've got a phenomenal panel at Shiloh Baptist Church in D.C. Beginning at 7:30. So we look forward to that. So let's get down to business. And Tom, I think I got invited to the White House tomorrow with the anchors to meet with Trump before the speech.
You
think?
No, seriously.
You're off the list to never talk to Trump?
No. I think I just checked. I think I did. They're supposed to send me the invite today. That'll be interesting. So
we're on the list together. Am I going to get an invitation too?
I don't know.
I'm still on the list, huh?
No.
Man, can I be your pocket square, man?
Not his +1, his pocket square.
I can fit in the pocket square. I
typically I don't wear a black pocket square on black. So let's. Dave, where was it? I didn't get one. You're sleeping. Scrub. That's right. That's what happens when you're a Cowboys fan and your team sucked this year. Ooh. All right, let's get right to it. Tom, Virginia. Boy, white folks in Virginia love them some Confederate heroes. I mean, they love them some Confederate heroes. And so every year, somebody stands up in their legislature and they honor Stonewall Jackson. They honor Robert E. Lee. Well, they got a black lieutenant governor, the second African-American ever elected statewide office. Douglas Wilder was the first. And he presides over, the Senate. And so when they did that, he said, you know what, let me just step off the podium and go sit to the side. And that's, of course, Lieutenant Governor Justin Fairfax, who joins us right now. Lieutenant Governor, how you doing?
I'm doing very well, Roland. Good morning to you, Tom. Sybil, Guy. Thanks so much for having me on today.
Always talking to a good alpha man, Tom. Lieutenant Governor, so what's the deal? Every year they rise to celebrate the birthday of a Stonewall Jackson and a Robert E. Lee, and one of the legislatures even claimed that Robert E. Lee was not fighting for slavery.
Yeah, that's correct, and unfortunately, of course, that really flies in the face of history, and has been debunked many times over. And so every year, as you mentioned, they rise and try to adjourn the session in the memory of either Stonewall Jackson or Robert E. Lee around their respective birthdays. And as Lieutenant Governor of Virginia, you noted this. I preside over the Senate every day, and and I decided, it really wasn't a hard decision for me. That because of, the ahistorical nature of what was being done, and also, my family's history, and really all of our history, that I would not preside over those particular motions. And so I stepped down from the dais. And by the way, I gave them a heads up. I told everyone what I was doing in advance because I wanted to be very clear that I did not think that was appropriate, and I certainly wasn't going to participate in it. And so very happy and proud of my decision and very grateful to all the people who have come out and supported what we did.
Now, you had something in your breast pocket that shocked a lot of people. Tell our audience exactly what that is and how you received it.
Absolutely. And it was, and if everyone gets a copy of yesterday's Washington Post or goes online, there's a really great story that was done by Greg Snyder detailing this, the story. But essentially it was a copy of a family document that was my family's manumission papers from 1798. And so it was a document that freed my several great-to-go grandfather, Simon Fairfax, from the 9th Lord Fairfax here in Virginia. And made him a free man in 1798. And, of course, we can trace our lineage back to then. I wore that in my breast pocket on the day that I was sworn in as Lieutenant Governor of the Commonwealth of Virginia on January 13th. It was actually discovered that same week with just a couple days before my swearing in. And it was a very powerful thing. My dad handed it to me 20 minutes before I walked out to the portico on the steps of the Capitol in Richmond to take this oath. And I don't believe in coincidences. God is very good, and it was a really moving moment. I also wore that on the day that I stepped down from the dais when they were honoring Robert E. Lee. And just reminding myself of that journey that really we all have gone through, what our ancestors had to go through to get us to this moment, and something that I always talk about, which I call spiritual wealth, the sacrifices that people have made to allow us to live the lives that we now live today, and our responsibility to repay the spiritual debt by paying that forward to the next generation. So I am mindful of my responsibility. I know that I stand on the shoulders of giants, and including L. Douglas Wilder, that was a hero and a friend of mine. And I want to make sure that we repay that spiritual debt and give more people more opportunity, include everyone. And I think that's what the future is about, and not looking back solely on the past.
My man.
What has been the reaction of those in your state after you made the announcement about stepping down during those occasions?
Yes, it has been overwhelmingly positive. Now, I have to tell you, people, of course, there are some folks who have different opinions and,
right.
and others who, will voice those opinions. But I will say 90% of what I have heard is overwhelmingly positive. People who have said, I'm proud of you for taking that stand and doing it in the way that I did it. I didn't want to grandstand. I didn't want to cut anybody off in the middle of their speech. And there's been a little bit of a misunderstanding. People say, well, why would you be silent? Why don't you, forcefully say something? I want to just tell people how the Senate works in Virginia. In that moment, you really have one of two options, given the way the Senate is conducted. You either preside over the motion and you echo the words that are being said. These are your only options. Or you do what I did, which is step down from the dais and say, I'm not going to participate. I will not be a part of it. And so people have really spoken up forcefully in support of what we've done. And it surprised a lot of people because, this is something that had been routine and had, been going on for some time. But, I think we have to stand up for our values and be guided by our conscience. And that's really what I did. The second I knew that it was going to happen, it took me, no time at all to make that decision. I really, in some ways, felt the power of my ancestors and the power of the progress that we have made in Virginia and in this country. And we have got to chart a new course. We have got to make sure that everyone's included and not just part of our history is being told.
Are you finding that there's a different kind of feeling in the state as a result of your election and in the wake of what happened in Charlottesville?
Absolutely. Only the second African-American ever elected to statewide office in the history of the Commonwealth of Virginia. My wife, by the way, is the first woman of color ever to be second or first lady in the history of the Commonwealth of Virginia.
Oh, my God.
It's a new day. It's a new day in Virginia, a new day in America. We honor those who lost their lives in Charlottesville, and we honor them by charting a new, more positive course in this country.
All right.
Virginia Lieutenant Governor Justin Fairfax.
My
Sure
man.
appreciate it. Thanks a bunch.
God bless
way
you
to
all.
stand tall and hold up the light.
Yeah.
Thanks for having our back. God bless you guys.
All right.
God bless you.
All right, then.